Don't buy a T6.1 because the T6 is actually better. Is it really? Why? The T6 is obviously going to be cheaper in most cases than a T6.1 because the T6.1 is essentially the facelifted model of the T6. So with it being cheaper, that would mean that you could buy a very, very similar van and actually have quite a lot of money to spend on additional modifications and that endless list of things you actually need for your van. And believe me, that list really is endless. You might have a list of everything which you want for your van, but it never ends because once you've got everything, the list just starts growing and growing. So you are always, always spending money. So buying a T6 is actually going to save you that initial outlay, enable you to do other things like your halo roof, your additional speakers, your better electric system, a solar panel on the roof, better quality catering equipment, drinking, everything. You know, you can spend that additional money on other things. But that's quite obvious that it's cheaper because it's not the latest model. So what else is there? So I have in a previous video talked about some of the differences between the T6.1 and the T6, but a lot of these were just cosmetic differences. The front grille, for instance, you've not got that bar going across the front. The lights are actually thinner, but they're not actually any better. Unless you go for the absolute top of the range lights, the standard lights are still actually as poor as the T6s were. But one of the main real annoyances, and this just frustrates me every single time I've now been driving in a T6.1, and don't get me wrong, I've loved driving it in many ways, but there's no footrest. When you're driving, you've got your pedals, and then normally you'd have a footrest, as you've got on the T6, as you can see here. Nice place to rest your foot, purposely made, nice there. T6.1, it's not there. There is no place to rest your foot. Why is that? You know, the longer journeys which I've done in it, you just really notice it. For such a big vehicle, your feet just feel so cramped in it. You can't rest that left foot. You've just got to bring it back a bit from the pedals, which is one, not what you're used to, and two, not really what you should be doing. Why have you done it, Volkswagen? There's obviously must be a reason. It must be a wider console in the middle or something in the column, but it's really frustrating. I don't like that at all. And next, the steering. So the steering on the 6.1, as I mentioned, is actually electromechanical, which does provide much lighter steering, but many say that the T6 does feel a lot more solid, more planted to the road surface, more sure-footed. And I like the T6.1 because it does feel a lot more car-like, but at the same time that it really does feel solid. The T6 just feels, I don't know, it just feels, well, it feels heavier. The vehicle just feels heavier and more planted, and just like others say, you know, you know where it is, you know where that level of grip is. And yeah, I know it's not a sports car, so you don't need to know exactly where your level of grip is because you're not going to be flying around corners at X miles an hour, but it is nice to feel that connection. But it's up to you. Do you want lighter steering, more car-like, or do you want heavier steering? Is it worth spending that extra money on a 6.1 for that reason? The interior, the dash of the T6.1 is different to the T6. It looks slightly better in standard form, but there's less storage. The storage pockets are not as big as they were on the T6. The glove box does appear to be reduced in size, and then the bit above the glove box, that long strip which you've got here on the T6.1, isn't good as that opening which you had on the T6. But one of the big problems with the T6.1, which I really don't like, is there's no comfort dash. The comfort dash creates a much less commercial look in the van. It's luxurious is probably a little bit of a stretch too far, but the glove box and the compartments, they were all velvet lined, really nice material. They had different finishes, and it just looked more car-like, much more luxurious, rather than just that commercial plasticky dashboard which you got on the standard T6. But the T6.1 doesn't have that. You haven't got that option to actually spec that. Now, in the Californias, which is obviously the really expensive camper van, as I'm sure you'll know, and also the Caravels, in the T6, these came as standard, the Comfort Dash. In the 6.1, the dash is the same plasticky thing. Well, that's just not good enough. You know, if you're spending all that money on a Caravel or a California, you want the best materials. You know, you want the highest quality product which you can, and not having that Comfort Dash kind of takes that away. I think it's a big miss. It is a big miss, because when I've been looking at other vans, when I've been looking at a T6, it's always the Comfort Dash. I want the Comfort Dash. I want the twin electric sliders. I want to make sure that it's got a tailgate. It's kind of top of that spec list, because it's just much better than just the standard plasticky dash. And as you've seen, which I've done in this one, I've got the Vanex conversion on the front of that small compartment. Well, the 6.1 doesn't have that, so that's a big miss as far as I'm concerned. And something else about that interior compartment, there's no sunglasses holder. Where's it gone? What have you taken away the sunglasses holder for? You can see that it's got a cutout for it, so I don't know, are the fixings still behind it? Has anybody done that? You know, taken out the cab roof and have a look, are the fixings still there? Can you put one aftermarket? Why have you got away from it? You know, that's a great little feature. Have you run out of parts? You know, what is it? Why is the T6.1 not got the sunglasses holder? VW, you've got rid of some of the really good quality items which you had in the T6. Why have you taken it away? Next, the engines. A lot of people say the 2-litre diesel 140 horsepower is the most solid engine which there is. So this is pre-AdBlue. It's a Euro 5 engine, and it's the one I've got in here, and as you might have seen, I get 38 miles per gallon. All's good, and touch wood, it's, you know, it has done me very well. This is a little bit different, because obviously there are a lot of T6s from 2016 onwards which are also Euro 6, which means you have the AdBlue. But with the AdBlue, that 140 now becomes 150 horsepower, and you have to add AdBlue. It is well documented, and a lot of people have been telling me, especially when I was buying the vehicle, avoid the 150. Go for the 140. It's a much better engine. The AdBlue just causes lots and lots of problems. A lot of these problems can be costly. Now, there's no getting away from it. We need to be moving to Euro 6. We need to be cleaning the air. We need to have cleaner emissions. So AdBlue in the Euro 6 really is better for the climate. But as far as reliability is concerned, the 140 and that pre-Euro 6 AdBlue engine is a better engine. But as I said, you get that in the T6 and also a T6.1, but I understand there's a lot less problems actually with the T6.1, and you also don't have the problems with additional payments with the clean air zones. Obviously a lot of the cities now are bringing in these clean air zones, and if you've got a Euro 5 engine and it's a van, commercial vehicle, you will have to be paying the daily charges, or if you live there, the monthly charges, etc., which can be costly. So although it might be a more reliable engine, it's cleaner and better for the environment, the T6.1. There are some things which are better on the T6.1. Yes, it does drive more like a car. That lighter steering is a bit of a positive as well as it is a negative. The dash, you can get a digital display, an option on the Caravels, California, but you can have it retrofitted. I think it is quite expensive, it's about £1,500. But you might have seen on the other VW cars, you've got the digital dash where you can have the map screen directly in front of you through the steering wheel, and it does look a real quality display unit. It is very good. It is a newer vehicle, it does feel more modern. The steering wheel looks more modern, but you can always change the T6 steering wheel and get a better steering wheel. The Mark 8 Golf GTI is a very popular steering wheel to upgrade over T6. The new entertainment console, you know, that is more modern. touchscreen as opposed to the old one, but it's just better colour, better quality. It's obviously updated as the technology has improved, so has the actual quality of that entertainment system. But you can easily replace that anyway on the T6, you know, like I've done with mine. I've got the Alpine Halo 11, fantastic. Have a look at my videos on that. Really, really do like that unit. And that's probably a unit which I'll probably take with me to my next van, whether it's a T6 or a T6.1. But do you know what? A few months ago, I was determined that my next van was going to be a T6.1. But over the recent months, as I've been driving them more and more, I'm not sure whether actually a later 2019 T6 is going to be my next van as opposed to the T6.1. I think where I'm getting with this is a T6.1 is a great vehicle, but the T6 is also a great vehicle. So do you need a T6.1? I've driven lots over recent months and I'm convinced there's so many pros with the T6. You're still going to have your footrest. All the Transporters, whichever model you get, are fantastic vehicles. You don't need to be spending out maximum money on a T6.1. A T6 is going to do you absolutely fantastically. You can save all the money, you can get a better diesel heater, you can get your better pop-top, you can upgrade your electrics, you can upgrade that steering wheel, you can upgrade that gear knob, you can get a better stereo system, even better than the standard VW unit. You can save money by buying a T6 or even a T5. So there you go. I don't really know what I want next because they're still both fantastic vehicles. So if you want to see more of the videos which I've done, please do subscribe to the channel, have a look at these videos here, and I shall see you soon.